What to expect in the summer market of 2022. Hey guys, thanks for tuning back in. My name is Robert Mack, and today I want to talk about the market forecast for the summer of 2022. Now, the reality is nobody has a crystal ball, and depending on what resources you look through, you're going to get a lot of conflicting information. My personal opinion is that this isn't a market that we can really look out into the future in. It's really one of those markets that is changing week by week, month by month, especially when we're talking about micro markets. The micro markets are what's most important. And the reason why I talk about micro markets is because there are some areas in Orange County that are absolutely thriving regardless of everything that's happened in the last 6 weeks. And there are some areas in Orange County that are stalling out, and we're actually seeing prices fall. So it really depends on your area, and real estate's never a one-size-fits-all approach. I'm gonna jump right in. This video is gonna be super dense with information. So I wanna talk about inventory first. So inventory, in the beginning of the year, we were at 1,100 homes available for sale. And right now we're hovering around 3,800 homes available for sale. So that's a 250% increase in just the beginning of the year. The great news is for sellers out there is that although we have seen a massive influx in inventory, we're still about 40 to 50% lower than we were in 2019. So supply is still an issue. And what a lot of people need to continue to keep in mind is that there are a lot of new millennial buyers that are interested in buying properties. They have expressed interest in real estate, and we still have a massive influx of buyers coming in with a low inventory. Let's talk about interest rates. Interest rates were historically low last year. They were in the mid to high twos. They'd never been lower, and about 3 or 4 weeks ago, they shot up into the sixes, and that made everybody slam on the brakes because everyone's like, what is going on? This is crazy. Now, the cool news is that they've settled a little bit, and we're now seeing interest rates between 4.5 to 5.5, depending on the type of loan program you get, and if you buy down points and all that other fun stuff. I will say though that there are still some great loan programs out there. We just locked in a client on a 7-year ARM, which if you watch my videos in the past, you know that I'm a big fan of the 7-year ARM because it's fixed for 7 years. And the average life of a loan is less than 3 years. And we just had a client lock in at 3.75%. So that's incredible news. So again, when we talk to you about talking to a lender and exploring your options, that's why we do that. But the bottom line is interest rates basically doubled, and interest rates have a lot to do with affordability. And so when there's a lot more inventory and buyers have more choices and the cost of homeownership has gone up, demand naturally falls. So if you see this graph on the screen right now, you'll see that there are 1,700 homes available, or I'm sorry, 1,700 homes that are pending under contract right now. If you look at 2021, it's almost double. It's that red line. So demand is falling because right now is not as good of a time to buy mentally and maybe even physically than it was 4 to 6 weeks ago. Now, let's talk about days on market, right? If inventory is growing and the cost of homeownership is growing and demand is falling, obviously days on market is going to grow. It's going to take longer for homes to sell. Now, what's important to know is that every price range is different, right? So if you look at like $750,000 and below, those homes are still selling pretty fast. But if you're looking at like 5 million and above, it's taking a lot longer. But what's important to understand is that every single price range has gone up. The average days on market in March was 19 days. The average days on market today is 67 days. So every single price range for homes is taking longer to sell. Now, what does that mean for buyers and what does that mean for sellers? So here's the cool thing. For the buyers out there, yes, the cost of homeownership has gone up because interest rates have gone up. But we talked about exploring your options with a lender, and we just talked about a client of mine just locking in at 3.75. So there are still some amazing loan programs out there. And keep in mind, you buy the home, you live in it for many, many years, but you buy a home with an interest rate, you can potentially refinance that interest rate in a year or 2 or 3 when those rates drop and create more certainty for yourself and more affordability. But the bottom line is what are you getting now as a buyer that you were desperately asking for in the last 2 years? We want more homes to look at. There's not enough homes on the market. We want more time to look at these properties before they sell. They're all selling so fast. We want to think about it overnight, and we can't do that because they're getting 30 offers and all these buyers are going way above asking price. We want to negotiate, but everybody else is offering way above asking price. We can't afford it. We just wish there was more homes. We just wish we had more time. We just wish that there wasn't so much competition. We just wish that homes weren't going for way over asking price. Well, you got what you wished for. 90% of what you wanted is here. The only difference is the interest rates. And the reality is you wouldn't have what you wanted if it wasn't for those interest rates. Because everybody that's saying, I'm gonna wait for the rates to drop to 3%, well, guess what's gonna happen? The market's gonna go crazy again. So right now presents an amazing opportunity for buyers to buy. We've talked about this in the past. It's simply motivation. Why are you buying? And then it's math. Can I afford it? Everything else is irrelevant. Now let's talk about the sellers. Here's the cool thing. Stephen Thomas said in his housing report, for homeowners looking to sell in 2022, the window of opportunity is closing as the inventory climbs, demand falls, and the market times grow longer. I'm gonna put a slide up here on the screen called Orange County Expected Market Time. You will see that the orange line is where we're at in terms of inventory. We were in a hot seller's market. We have now entered a slight seller's market. As inventory continues to grow, we will enter a balanced market. And if it continues to grow, we will enter a slight buyer's market. For the sellers out there, you're still able to sell for top dollar. That said, what was working 2 years ago, I'm just gonna put my home on the market. I'm just gonna put a sign in front. I'm just gonna put it on the internet and see if anybody buys it. And then wham, bam, you get 35 offers and the home sells for a record price because there was no inventory and buyers were desperate. Well, that's not the case anymore. Now there's tons more inventory. Buyers aren't as desperate as they were before. In fact, buyers are picky and skeptical. And on top of that, interest rates are higher, demand is lower. So if you're gonna put a home on the market and expect to sell your home for a record price, you need to make sure you put out the highest quality product. The beauty of this market is that although it's not as an affordable time to buy, buyers are still craving to fall in love with properties. And they're willing to pay a pretty penny if the home connects with them emotionally. If you're a seller out there, how you price your home matters. Pricing attracts the buyers that want to come see your property. How your home shows matters. So that's where the professional experts come in. That's where the real estate agents that you choose to work with come in. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you like this video and you found it on social media, give me some social media love. Leave a comment, like it, share it, or subscribe. If you ever want to talk to me or my team about buying or selling a property now or in the near future, please reach out to us. We are an open book. And if you have any video ideas you want me to talk about in the future, send those my way as well. Until next time, happy selling.